So what's going to trigger the fifth default? In short, our national debt. In 1971, when Nixon ended the gold standard, America owed $378 billion. Today, we owe $38 trillion. That's 100 times more debt. Our debt is so large that we now spend over $1 trillion a year just on interest. We spend more on interest than our entire military. In fact, 40% of the federal taxes you paid last year went directly to interest payments. Not roads, not schools, not health care, just interest. Here's the problem. Every year, America spends far more than it earns. We've been in a deficit for 24 consecutive years. So how does the government cover that gap? They borrow and print more money, and the debt pile keeps growing. Now, you might think they just need to spend less, right? But that's politically impossible. Social Security, can't cut it. 65 million Americans depend on it. Medicare, off limits. Defense, going up, not down. We're in the most dangerous geopolitical environment since World War II. These three alone make up the vast majority of our budget. There's nothing left to cut. Warren Buffett, the greatest investor of our generation, recently warned, we're operating at a fiscal deficit that is unsustainable. Ray Dalio, who manages $140 billion and predicted the 2008 crash, was even more blunt. The government has only one option left: print their way out. Because if you can't cut spending, you print. And they've already started. On December 12th, the Fed announced the start of quantitative easing. They're going to print $40 billion every month for the foreseeable future. Your dollars are being devalued, and gold prices are starting to pump. It happens every time. Notice the pattern? Each crisis requires more money printing. And each time, gold surges higher, while the dollar gets hit with steady devaluation through inflation. Since 2020, the dollar has lost roughly 30% of its purchasing power. Grocery prices up 25%. The price of gas doubled. Rent is up 30 to 40% in most cities. Health insurance 20%. Fast food 30%. In just 5 years, your savings lost 30% of their value. Your retirement account might look bigger on paper. But what does it actually buy today compared to 2020? This is the hidden tax nobody talks about. You didn't get poorer on paper, but your dollars buy less bread, less gas, less security. And here's the terrifying part. That was from printing $7 trillion. What happens when they print $10 trillion or $15 trillion? Because this time, with $38 trillion worth of debt, interest payments consuming 40% of your taxes, the Fed doesn't have a choice. Not only do they need to print, they won't be able to stop. And central banks around the world know it. That's why, even as they flood the system with trillions of new dollars, they're quietly buying more gold than ever before. Think about that for a second. Who runs the printing presses? Who decides when to inject more money into the system? Who knows exactly what's coming for the dollar? Central banks. And with that inside knowledge, what are they doing? Stockpiling gold at historic levels, because they know every new dollar they print makes gold more valuable. That should tell you everything you need to know. Ray Dalio says, if you don't own gold, you know neither history nor economics. He recently recommended a 15% gold allocation for all investment portfolios. And the wealthy are listening. In just the past year, gold ownership among high net worth individuals jumped from 20% to 38%. That's almost 4 out of 10 millionaires and billionaires. And J.P. Morgan agrees. They think gold will hit $6,000 per ounce. Here's the simple truth. Governments can and will print unlimited dollars. They cannot print gold. The more they print, the higher gold goes. That's the way it's worked for 5,000 years. And that's why gold is working right now. So the question now is, how are you going to protect your savings